This week, UW Regents traded diversity programs for funding in a stunning second vote. CBS 58's Emilee Fannon and WisPolitics editor J.R. Ross talks about it in tonight's Capital Connection.
We're going to begin with the top story of this week, which was the UW Board of Regents reversing course after rejecting a deal that would limit diversity positions in exchange for pay raises. Well, they ultimately approved it on Wednesday, an 11-6 vote. And there's still a lot of heartburn after the vote, as I spoke to some regents who felt they felt obligated to vote to this deal because it would release $800 million in state funding that would cover the pay raises, a vast variety of building projects and other things that university has really wanted. And the other side, though, you know, you have faculty and students who were, quote, disgusted by this because of what it would do to DEI. And looking ahead, I think the big question is, after the vote, we heard from Assembly Speaker Robin Vos, who basically said, hey, this is not the end of us going after DEI. Republicans want to see DEI eliminated. Now, whether that's Vos, who ultimately is the one who gets that win down the road, is a question. But also, I think there's a big question going forward about the faith in UW President Jay Rothman, because going into Saturday's vote, I think he thought he had the deal. It was a done deal, but that wasn't the case. And there was a lot of regents that ultimately flipped their vote. And there's some people questioning his confidence in his leadership going forward.
Well, there was some reporting that suggested that he had kind of threatened to resign if this wasn't approved. From what I picked up from my sources, it's more of a, look, this is if you reject this, a vote of no confidence in my ability to lead the board. When Rothman was selected, and remember, he was picked by a board stocked with Tony Evers appointees, a Democratic governor of Wisconsin. The view was this is a guy from a private sector background, kind of a Republican-ish type candidate, acknowledgement of the GOP state legislature, a guy who could work with these Republican lawmakers and try and advocate for the university. It hasn't quite panned out that way. There's still been cuts, holding back money, that kind of stuff. So Rothman has sold this as, this has to be a vote of confidence in how I did my job. How will that work going forward? Remember, with the regents, they're almost never even like split vote. It's almost always unanimous.
Correct.
The fact it was 9-8 to start and then reversed to 11-6 was quite remarkable. So there's that question. And really, when you look at this package, Rothman got a pretty good deal. I mean, first, start the positions, okay? Yes, DEI is being curtailed, but they're taking a third of those jobs in place right now, and they're going to reassign. They can still do the same thing. Nobody's losing a job. They're not going away, anything like that. So there's that piece of it. Two, money-wise, this is a legislature that held back $32 million in the state budget that was basically put aside for state funding. They held off enacting pay raises approved in the state budget. Both of those are happening, plus another, I don't know, $700 million, $800 million bucks overall. That's a pretty good deal. The concern, though, going forward is what will lawmakers ask for next? So they got this concession because of DEI positions. We have a budget not till 2027, or 25, I'm sorry. What will they ask for then? Will there be another ask on DEI, some kind of concession, again, that could put the screws UW in exchange for money?
Right, and that was the big question going forward of, you know, is this going to be the last thing that Assembly Speaker Robin Vos wants to get done? It was careful how he put his words, is that Republicans are not done yet working on DEI, and his statement was he wants to eliminate all DEI. And that, I think, is the statement when I was talking to faculty and staff after the vote, is what concerned them the most. Correct, no one is losing their job under this deal. 43 positions of DEI are being restructured. But once Vos said, hey, I'm not done yet, still got more to go and what I want to get accomplished while I'm still here in the Capitol, faculty and staff are just almost scared and fearful of what that will look like. Some student advocacy groups told me that they're already hearing that some students want to transfer. They don't want to continue their education at the UW system if DEI, which is very important to a lot of people, if it is scaled back. Now, looking ahead to next week, this is when all the process will start working out, because many components of this deal will have to be approved by the state legislature, and some of them might also need the approval of Governor Evers. That process looking into next week will begin on Tuesday, when a committee will vote to start kind of releasing some of those pay raises, and the work will continue. So it's not a done deal, but the big hurdle, of course, was reached on Wednesday.
And don't forget, Robin Vos negotiated this deal. Devin Lemieux, the Senate leader, has said good things about it. We haven't heard from this entire caucus. So yes, this committee by itself can implement the pay raises. The Joint Finance Committee can release that $32 million. But the building projects, you need a vote by both houses to get that through. how Republicans react. And by the way, Democrats were unanimous in both houses against this deal because of the DEI impact. Will they vote for building projects, knowing it's part of enabling this deal?
And we're seeing this attack on DEI, across a lot of conservative states. They hail it as a waste of taxpayer money. Voss and some conservatives have also called it a divisive issue. I think my question going forward, is that going to be a message that maybe resonates with a lot of voters? Is it going to excite them? Is that their number one issue? Yes, 2024 is a presidential year, but that is always something to definitely keep in mind going forward about the messaging that they're building now that could carry over in the next few years. All right, that will do it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.